Hi, I'm Ross Matthews, and I know what you're thinking. Why is a big New York Times bestselling author talking to you? I don't know. Hey, you're watching Postscriptd. Well, my book is Man Up, Tales of My Delusional Self-Confidence, and it's really good. It's like, not to toot my tutor, but it's very funny. It's stories of me growing up in a farm town as like a very gay young kid. And then that kid loving pop culture and working my way, to actually living in the middle of pop culture, living the dream. And it's really funny, but there's this really positive message throughout. I define man up as you are what you are. You got to celebrate what makes you different. People spend so much time hating what makes them different. I think you should use it to make you stand up from the crowd, celebrate it. And Man Up is a collection of stories when I did man up and when I didn't. And it's kind of mortifying that the whole world's going to read it now. But whatever. I've lived this ridiculous life. Ridiculous. Where I just never apologized for who I was, and because of that, got myself into some insane situations growing up and then with celebrities. And as I was living, I kept telling myself, you got to remember this for a book one day. You've got to remember this for a book one day. And then one day I just decided to actually do it. Get off my ass and actually do it. Ridiculous things, from asking Gwyneth Paltrow to be my best friend and her saying yes and it actually happening, to believing that I really was going to be a talk show host when everyone else looked at this package of this high-pitched cartoon gay clown and said there's no way you could ever be a broadcaster. But it happened. It's just ridiculous. When I flipped through it, if I wasn't me, I don't know if I'd believe it all. There's 3 chapters in a row. It's almost like a to be continued. It's all the Ross the Intern chapters. And that's how I started on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. I was really an intern behind the scenes. I loved television my entire life. And I was, kind of right place, right time thing, where a comic dropped out of covering the Ocean's 11 premiere, and the producers thought I was funny. So they said, why not send Ross? And Oprah says there's no such thing as luck. Luck is opportunity meets preparation. I quote her in the book. No shame. And that moment was that for me. I mean, was I lucky that that happened? Sure. But if I had not been good and been schooled in pop culture and watched 4 billion hours of television so I knew how to do television, it wouldn't have worked, and it worked. And that's how I got started in TV. It's hard to pick a favorite part of the book that I wrote. I would tell you the parts when I really screwed up were more fun to write than the parts where I was like the hero of the story. There's some of these things where I really stand up for myself and I'm the good one, but there's stories when it is so embarrassing what I did, and those were kind of very cathartic to write, because it was like, now that I'm admitting to it, why I can no longer work at Lane Bryant, the clothing store for plus size women, is not a great moment in my life. There is probably a picture of me in Lane Bryant corporate that says, do not allow this man to work here, because I did something inexcusable. And you will read about it in, I think, chapter 6. And my mother now knows, because it's in the book. After reading my book, I hope people are still smiling and laughing and know a little bit about what it's like to be me. But what I hope they're also left with is maybe a seed of a message, that if there's something about them, as I talk about in Man Up, you are what you are, you gotta love what makes you different. What made me different was being gay and high-pitched and a little odd. But this is not just a gay story. This is a universal message of self-acceptance. I hope that people, when they read this, can maybe love that thing about them a little more than they did before they read the book.